SeaWorld is known for their awesome family shows, particularly around various animals. SeaWorld has been trying to standardize their shows across the various parks, but they've also added a few shows unique to each location. For 2025, they replaced the Sesame Street Bay of Play with Rescue Junior at SeaWorld San Antonio, which further changed their show lineup a little bit. But what shows are my favorite? Find out as I count down the shows at SeaWorld San Antonio for the summer of 2025. Of note, SeaWorld lists a bunch of keeper talks and dance parties as shows on their app. This normally isn't too hard to sort through during the summer, but is annoying to filter through the smaller shows during their Christmas event. I am only ranking either shows in an actual stadium or stage, or a parade, and excluding their seasonal shows such as those during Christmas, Mardi Gras, or the Seven Seas Food Festival. Number 9. Rescue Junior, Animal Talk. This show was really short, at only maybe 5 minutes, and mainly seemed to be a photo opportunity and question opportunity for kids instead of a real show, which is slightly disappointing as SeaWorld did a full 15-minute presentation, which should be very similar to this with their Cajun critters during Mardi Gras. Some reason for this could be the lack of shade in the Rescue Junior Theater itself, but families did start to crowd around once the show actually began, and then were kind of probably disappointed that it only lasted a minute or so. Even in a better form, it is still just animal ambassadors talking about and showing off animals in their care, which isn't the most exciting, but is engaging for families and really should be the heart and center of what Rescue Junior is all about. Number 8. Ocean Discovery. This gives some nice views of the dolphins and belugas, and actually is better now than it has been in the past, as I feel like the animals actually do a bit more for you to see. But it's still a very basic encounter with these animals, without much dressing up around it at all. I do prefer sitting closer for this show, as the belugas are really impressive to see up close, and only the first 2 rows seem to get wet in the splash zone on my most recent viewing. So you should be able to sit closer without the fear of getting too wet. The Dolphin Adventure Show, the counterpart of SeaWorld Orlando, is much better, which does make me sad, but this show is growing on me at least. Number 7. ImaginOcean. This kid's show is really cute, and watching the puppets do various tricks is both mesmerizing and a real honor to watch. The problem is this show is marketed as a family experience, and it is really for kids in the 3 to 6 year old range, with few jokes or engagement points for older children, let alone adults. For young kids, this show is fantastic, and it does its job so well. And my wife does really like seeing this show when she goes to SeaWorld. As an adult, though, it is likely skippable unless you really want to see all the cool tricks that they do with the puppets, which is definitely actually worth seeing. With how awesome the concept is, I really wish it was more engaging for all ages. Number 6. Rescue Junior Extravaganzabration. This dance party show creates a fun atmosphere with song and dance, and bringing out the big man himself, Shamu, is a nice touch for any family show. I'm not a huge fan of this style of show, but it works for its main audience of kids in the Rescue Junior area, and is a neat experience for all ages. Number 5. Flippers, Facts, and Fun. The Sea Lion Experience. This replaced the Sea Lion and Otter Spotlight in the summer of 2024, which replaced the Sea Lion High. Sea Lion High was a terrific blend of comedy and the animals that created a truly engaging experience for all. In that form, this show was near the top of the list. The Spotlight show simply had a cast of animal keepers going around doing silly antics in a story that was not nearly as engaging. But it did show the sea lions. The new show, Flippers, Facts, and Fun, has a more limited cast, as there's really only two main characters that are really present on stage. Given that this show normally plays comedically on the various different characters, this is kind of unfortunate. But what they do have is an upgrade over the Spotlight show, as you learn a few interesting facts about sea lions, and you get to see the sea lions do a bit more than they normally have done in past shows. And, of course, there's still the mime, Charlie, to warm guests up, who was really at the top of his game on my most recent visit. So you will want to get here 15 minutes early to catch Charlie. Number 4. Orca Encounter. This is the bread and butter of SeaWorld, and it is always incredible to see the orcas. At this point though, I've seen this show many times, as they haven't updated the show since 2020. If you don't mind getting wet, get as close as you can to get absolutely incredible views of these creatures. This show does focus more on conservation and just really showing off the orcas, instead of creating a story or more engaging theatrical elements, which does make me feel it is a little less than maybe it could be. Given SeaWorld's rebranding though, I really can't understand why this show is the way it is, but I feel more could be here. My wife has this as her favorite show, and favorite thing about SeaWorld in general, so it could still easily be much higher on this list. Number 3. RhythMotion Ocean Parade. The new for 2025 parade replaces the beloved Sesame Street Party Parade. For kids, and even adults, seeing the Sesame Street characters was always special. But now, the parade does have broader appeal, as the music and cast easily can appeal to both kids and adults alike. The parade did stop at both the pathway by the entrance and once again in Rescue Junior, so there are many places and chances to see the parade. Most families seem to be lined up over in Rescue Junior, as this was the prime viewing for the previous parade, though this now takes a bit longer for the parade to reach you. With only one real song, the music also does get a little bit repetitive, so I would like to see a bit of variety here. But it is still really fun for what it is. Of note, the parade time has changed to 8 p.m. and does start then instead of 5 minutes later, as with the previous parade. Number 2. Splash, a Sandsational Cirque celebration. This started in 2024 as an evening show, but is now mainly done during the days, at least on slower days, and not present every single weekday over the summer, so do double check the schedule before you go. This has a mild 60s beach theme, as it started as part of SeaWorld's 60th anniversary, and it has different catchy songs that performers will dance to. Then, some performers perform various tricks with how they can balance themselves and objects. The 2025 version seemed to be a bit more dancing and less tricks, but it is still a really fun show for what it is. Number 1. HydroPower, Xtreme FX. The end of the night summer spectacular is a real treat. They have a house band playing various rock songs from the 80s, so if you know that kind of music, it is nice to hear those songs. Then they have pyrotechnics and fireworks that accompany the various tricks that the water skiers will do out on the water in the dying twilight. After a long day at SeaWorld, this is a nice way to relax, while also getting hyped up enough to stay awake for the long drive home. And just a great way to end an evening. Which shows at SeaWorld are your favorite? If there are any past shows that you'd liked, let me know as well. And as always, Kapkun Krap.
As for you, Extravaganza 3000. But you're a great squirrel.
family. Okay, so